Is this all just political tribalism gone loco? Let me ask editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, is back. Welcome back, Ben.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, is there a political cost to victory?
I mean, I think there is. The fact is that Roy Moore, there are credible allegations of child molestation against him, 14-year-old girl, a 16-year-old girl, and every senator who is Republican who's going to be running for re-election this time is going to be asked why they wouldn't vote to expel Roy Moore from the Senate if indeed he is seated. Now, this is not mean that it's all fun and games for the Democrats. I mean, it's one of the reasons that I think that both Trump and Mitch McConnell have reversed themselves a little bit on Roy Moore is because the Democrats refused to off Al Franken despite obvious evidence that he was attempting to grope the breasts of a sleeping woman. So once there was tribalism on the left, it made excuses for tribalism on the right. But I don't think that it's good for anybody, and I do think that Republicans do tend to pay a higher price for perceived immorality in politics than Democrats do.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, you know, leaders on both sides are banging their heads on this issue because they want to have the political advantage. And, you know, when it's a stalemate, I guess, you know, they're both kind of pacified in the moment, but in the long run, it really is problematic because you can't have someone in your party in the Senate who has done the things that Moore is accused of doing, and at the same time go after people like, as you have pointed out, Anthony Weiner, Al Franken, John Conyers, and Lord knows who else.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the Republicans, unlike the Democrats, have at least pretended to hold some sort of standard with regard to personal behavior, at least up until the last couple of years. I mean, there's been this idea that Republicans are the party of morality, that they're the party of Christian conservatives, and it's hard to maintain that standard when at the same time you're basically saying that so long as somebody has an R by their name and they're not pro-abortion, so long as that happens, then they could be credibly accused of child molestation. I mean, at some point there will be a political price to pay here, and you do wonder, you know, back in the early 1990s, David Duke won the Republican primary in Louisiana to run for Senate, and George H.W. Bush said, vote for the other guy. I do wonder if that sort of thing took place today in either party, whether that party would actually disown its own candidate.
Is the high road closed?
It might be. I mean, it may very well be. It may be that we've reached the point in terms of partisanship where it doesn't matter what the person on your side may have done so long as that person is not of the other side and votes the quote-unquote right way. If that's the case, then we're losing whatever common culture we had, the idea of a social compact where we're all going to work together and at least acknowledge certain basic levels of character and decency that have to be had in our politicians. That's gone, and then it's just a war of all against all, and who cares what the personal standards of the politicians are.
Well said, Ben Shapiro. Thanks so much.